Okay, you can go.
Okay, our video was interrupted. I'm not too sure where we were now. The point I was making is you're starting in the initial key, which we clearly heard was A major. But by the time we got to the end, we clearly heard a so, do, and a D, do in another key. That's not A major, that's E major. So that means you've got to go back to the middle of the phrase now and say, if I started in A major and I ended in E major, how did I get from the one to the other? And clearly the connection was, well, there wasn't any other chord but the A major chord, because the whole thing was an A major chord up to there. Those two bars were all an A major chord. And from that point you go to an E major chord. So, what was the connection? The tonic of A major is what in E major? The tonic of A major is A, C sharp, E. It's A major's tonic, and it's E major's subdominant. There you go. There's your predominant pivot chord. And from there you go to 1, 5, 1 in E major. The phrase finishes like that in E major. All right, here's another one where we can see a similar thing happening. We start the little piece in E minor, number 2, on the tonic of E minor. Tonic, dominant, tonic, dominant, half cadence. And then we go to phrase 2, tonic. And then we go to an A minor chord in first inversion. And from that we go to this bar, which is a D, F sharp, A, and C. We have a so, D, do, and in the bass, so, do. Can you hear that? This is not E minor. E minor has a D sharp. It goes to an E. So this is a D, F sharp, A, C. It's a dominant seventh built on D. And it's going to a G major chord. So that's 5-1 in G major. So again, you need to go back and say, okay, well, if I started this phrase, bar 5 is still the tonic of E minor. Then the next bar is an A minor chord in first inversion. So in E minor, that would be chord 1, and then it would be chord 4 in first inversion. And the next minute, I have dominant seventh of G major. How did I get there? Look at these two bars, or just this bar for that matter. The A minor chord. What is that in G major? The A minor chord, A, C, E. It's E minor's subdominant, and it's G major's supertonic. There you go. There's your predominant pivot chord, and then from there you go to 5-1 in G major. So you just carry on with a tonal sentence in G major. But when you have such closely related keys as we have here, we've got E minor going to G major. They're very closely related. In fact, they've got exactly the same key signature, relative minor and relative major. Very often you will have more than one potential pivot chord, and in fact we do, don't we? Because what we had here was actually an E minor chord that went to an A minor chord. Now both of those could potentially have been the pivot chord, can't they? They can both be. If you're going from E minor and you've got the tonic chord EGB, and then you've got the subdominant chord ACE, you could say that both of them belong to G major as well. EGB is G major's chord 6, and ACE is G major's chord 2. So you've got like two pivot chords next to each other here before you go to 5-1 in G major. So you could have indicated that one as the pivot chord, or that one, or both. It doesn't really matter. So the more closely related the keys are, the more there is a potential for more than one pivot chord in a row. All right, and then I've just given you more examples to show you, how that always works. So that the pattern is basically that you will always have a phrase that starts in the initial key. Then you will find a predominant pivot chord, which either will go directly to the cadence, or there might be one or two other chords in between. And that's pivot chord modulation in essence. And that's all I wanted to say now. I want you just to go read through the notes again, look at these examples again, just absorb the content, understand pivot chord modulation, and then what I will do, and I hope you will all be able to attend, in your lecture time on Tuesday and on Friday, I will use one of them as a revision session of ornamental chords, and I will use the other one as a practice session for writing before I give you the assignment on pivot chord modulations, how you would write that. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.